Welcome back at WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. March Madness coming in like a lion this week, and no UMBC this year, but certainly the Maryland Terps will be heard from on Thursday afternoon. This guy's heard from anywhere wagers are made. He sat with us at the Super Bowl. We have him on from time to time to talk football and wagering, but this is a big week for the part-time gamblers, Brandon Lang, to maybe fill out a bracket like the one I'm holding here, or win $1 million online, or let's just say these early games where the spreads are always a little wacky between 1s and 16s and 2s and 15s. Guys like you look for value now, don't you?
I sure do. This tournament, there's all kinds of value. You know that you're going to get a 14 that's going to win, a 13 that's going to win, and a 12 that's going to win. You know it happens every year. So who are they? Who are the sexy picks? And so you start digging on Monday, Tuesday you got the playing games, but I think we got some great value, and I've said this for years. The parity in college basketball is there courtesy of the one and done. So you get these smaller schools who have 4 starters back from last year, 3 of them are seniors, 2 of them are guards, and then you get that Loyola of Chicago run or that George Mason run. And so I look at Yale, a 14 seed, with everything surrounding Will Wade and LSU, the cloud of wiretaps and guards getting paid. And here's this Yale team that just put up, close to 100 on Harvard. They're catching 8. If LSU isn't focused, Yale could give them fits. The sexy pick by everybody, and I agree, is Oregon. 4 wins in 4 days, blow out Washington in the Pac-12 finals, and here they are facing a slow, plodding half Wisconsin team. I think number 12 Oregon has a great seeding, as long as 13 UC Irvine and 13 Northeastern, who gets Kansas, who we've seen him in the past. Bill Self one and down early when he's not a 1 seed, so that we could have something there.
Well, I think so much of this is speculative about just one game, one day, one shot. All these things tend to be played in these sleepy arenas with very few people. Maryland has not fared well in those kinds of games. And around here, it's all about Maryland and whether they can get in or not. But I think around the country, as I said, it's the NACC, right? It's the ACC Invitational from Duke and Virginia and North Carolina, and everybody trying to fit in. And you talk about what have you done for me lately, kind of hard to like Gonzaga after last week, right?
It's an absolute travesty on how the committee, and more importantly, Bernard Muir, who heads it up, athletic director out of Stanford. I've said this for years. When you got guys who wear white dress shirts with the pocket and have 4 pins stuck in that pocket, you're not going to get, with black rim glasses, you're not going to get what you're supposed to get. Michigan State is the only team in college basketball that won its regular season championship and won its conference tournament. And if you're a Gonzaga and you couldn't even win your conference tournament and your only significant win is Duke and Hawaii way back in November, and you lost to Tennessee and North Carolina and you can't even win your conference tournament, put the crack pipe down in Kansas City when you make your brackets. Michigan State got robbed. But you know what? They treat Michigan State like this every year. They disrespect the Big Ten. And here we are again with Michigan State, who's probably should have been a 1 seed, Gonzaga 2, and not only do you put Michigan State at 2, but you put them in the number 1 overall seed bracket.
Well, that's what we're talking about in Washington, D.C. next weekend, that if Maryland were to get through this Belmont-Temple thing, and you're not the only one that thinks Yale is attractive at this point over LSU, given all their stains and their problems. And suddenly we would have a bracket with Maryland, Michigan State, Virginia Tech, and Duke all meeting in Washington, D.C. I mean, that would be a weekend sort of on like Donkey Kong. And hey, you talk about what they're doing in Kansas City. They are looking to make fights. They're not looking to be fair. I mean, I think that's very obvious over the years, right?
I can't stand them. I can't stand the intellects and how they put this together and their rhyme or reasons of quad 1 wins. And listen, I know Belmont has a great record. I get it. But who did they beat? They didn't beat UCLA early in the year at UCLA. They lost to Purdue. They lost to Wisconsin, Milwaukee, and they have no significant win over another Division I top 50 opponent other than UCLA. And they couldn't even win their conference tournament, and you give them an at-large bid? It's unbelievable that you leave out an NC Greensboro, you leave out even Belmont didn't deserve to be there. And I'll tell you what, now that they're there, Maryland better be careful, because I think Belmont's going to take care of Temple, who shouldn't have got in. St. John's shouldn't have got in. And Maryland has an attractive matchup. I think if Maryland gets by the Belmont-Temple winner, I think they match up great against LSU or Yale. But again, the good thing for Maryland is if they do get hot, their big man plays great. It's practically a home game in the Sweet 16 for them.
You know, it's funny you would say St. John's doesn't deserve to get in. I have people that think they're going to win a couple of games. Maryland is one of those teams that felt like they qualified sometime back in January, and they've been sleepwalking ever since. They're a sub-500 team going back to January here, Brandon. And more than that, they were dog meat in the conference tournament. And I don't know where the judgment is on these conference tournaments. I mean, you just passed judgment on Gonzaga and what they did last week and what they can't do, and Maryland to be the same way. And then the ACC tournament felt like it may take the juice out of all of those teams, right, trying to beat each other up.
Yeah, it's a story that got out last night that Tom Izzo at the team meal said to his Michigan State Spartans, listen, we don't have to play this game. I know we need the rest. I know we're banged up. So if you guys don't want to go out there and play this game, I'll play the reserves and we'll rest. He honestly said that. And Cassius Winston and Matt McQuaid and Goins said, no, we're going to go out and play this. I thank you, but we're going to go out and play. And play they did. I mean, that is amazing to show you the resiliency of a Michigan State team that did that. You're right. Maryland comes in cold. Some people think St. John's will win a couple of games. One of the most entertaining.
Well, you mentioned Oregon. I mean, you were smitten by what they did over the weekend, right? I mean, and sometimes 4 games in 4 days, getting back up off the carpet and walking into a sleepy gym 5 days later, it's difficult to do.
It's funny. I was talking to someone last week, and I said, when you get these kids playing 3 or 4 days in a row, they actually play better because their bodies are conditioned that if you've ever been to these AAU tournaments that these kids are playing as sophomores, juniors, and seniors in high school, they're playing 2 games a day, 5 games in 3 days. They're used to it. They actually get in a rhythm, and they just start bouncing. And to beat Washington and play your 4th game in 4 days and blow them out, I'm telling you, man, that's a dangerous team. Number 1 defense in the Pac-12. Facing a slow, plotting Wisconsin team. Listen, Oregon can win a couple games here. If I'm Virginia, I don't want to see the athleticism of Oregon in the Sweet 16. Can Kansas State and Cal Irvine winner please knock off Oregon? Because Virginia's sitting there saying, if you watch film of the Ducks, man, they can go, and they're experienced, and they got great guards. I think Virginia is the first number 1 seed that's going to go out. I got Michigan State beating Duke. And I got Michigan State, North Carolina in the finals.
You love you some Sparty. He is Brandon Lang. You can follow all that he does at BrandonLang.com. He is a handicapper. He's been doing this a long, long time. If you're familiar with Two for the Money and Matthew McConaughey and Al Pacino, you know all about Brandon. Tell me what you're doing, because everybody's got a deal this week, right? It's run your bracket pool. It's win $1 billion. It's pick every winner, which we all sort of know is impossible. Everybody will be out. Most of the time, Brandon, you know my pool is a puddle by dinner time on Thursday night. And if I circle Maryland, as I always do, I'm always susceptible to these things, aren't I?
I'm going to go to Crazy Horse 3 and Spearmint Rhino. I'm going to sit down with one of the dancers, and I'm just going to ask her to pick uniform colors and the cutest point guard and which coach has the best butt, because the people who win these tournaments are the old ladies in the office pool or the secretary that knows nothing about basketball.
Brandon, let me tell you this. Listen to me. Now, what year was this? 02. The ACC tournament was in D.C., and I had a sponsor that was all lubed up and wanted to see Nasty Nestor, that would be me, pick against a monkey. And we found a sanctuary and someone in the area, literally out on a farm, that had a monkey, a capuchin monkey. And they brought this monkey into the studio, and they were a pizza sponsor. That's no longer a pizza sponsor. And Pizza John's is my sponsor now, and they would never subject me to this sort of torture. But they brought the monkey in, and the monkey not only beat me, but the monkey ate pizza and threw it at me. So in the modern era, like Instagram video, this would be cute. Instead, there are just still pictures of me frightened, not just that the monkey was in there, but that the monkey picked Boston College and beat me. So, yes, I have been beaten by a monkey on the radio, dude, so I'm with you. you. You don't
Yeah.
you don't have to convince me that you need to go to the Spearmint Rhino to pick games. Just go to the Spearmint Rhino. It's fine. I know what that is, and it's all good.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. The great thing about BrandonLang.com, all my handicappers put up a bracket. They'll be up tonight or early tomorrow. So if you need some help, you can pick one of my handicappers, click on their bracket, see who they like. It's something we've done every year, and we've got a great response for it because picking your bracket can be hard. Let some handicappers guide you. My bracket, of course, will be up later tonight. And we'll roll. As you know, we've talked about this for years. This is my favorite time of the year. This is my favorite week of the entire year is the first 4 rounds of this tournament. I think Wolford got a terrible deal. You go 29-4 and win 20 games in a row, and you got to go through Seton Hall in Kentucky just to get to the Sweet 16. That's just wrong. That's wrong.
By the way, I found the pictures of the monkeys here. I might share them out on my Facebook or my Twitter. I think I might. I mean, I hope this little guy is okay, but it's been about 15 years. I don't know how long monkeys live, but this monkey didn't like me. But he did like Boston College, and they won that year. That's all I remember is my pool was over, and the monkey, sort of had 13 to 16 in the in the second weekend. I know your folks are better than that. Brandon Lang's at BrandonLang.com. Picking all this, give me a little sort of exotic, fun thing that you are into beyond winning your brackets, which everybody plays, or winning an individual bet this week on one game that you may love Oregon or love a matchup. There's more exotic stuff going on in here, right?
Yeah, there is. Again, you're catching me on Monday. A lot of your props aren't out with what they do with this tournament, and I know Duke's the huge favorite, but you're getting Michigan State at 15-1. I mean, that's worth a look. I don't think people realize how good they have been all year long. Your big, sexy, big underdog money line pick. I'm telling you, bet Northeastern on the money line. I think Kansas away from home has been terrible. This is a Northeastern team that is legit, and they're a Northeastern team that's experienced. So don't sleep on them. I'm telling you, a money line play on Northeastern will get you, I think, about over 300. All 5 starters back from last year's team. Don't sleep on that as being a big first-round upset.
Brandon Lang is here, BrandonLang.com. They are picking winners all weekend long. And do they get the lines wrong in some of these games? I mean, I would say to you, Brandon, and this would be a Maryland issue, right? They sleptwalked at Madison Square Garden early in the morning against Illinois, sleepwalking against Seton. They have not. There are teams that just play in these loud, crazy gyms like North Carolina and Duke and whatnot. And there's something about it being sleepy that lends itself to, Coppin State, beating South Carolina 20 years ago, or UMBC getting up on Virginia. Because once the underdog takes over, the whole place becomes the fan of the underdog, and that's when sort of all hell rains down, right?
Yeah, it's true. I actually tell people it's kind of the reverse. Don't let the guys with the black rim glasses, the white dress shirt, and the 5 pins in there with the little plastic lap over the top. Don't let the seating that they put out there guide you with what to do. The line that the Vegas odds makers put out, that's what you pay attention to, because those are the guys that know what they're doing, not the guys in Kansas City that reward Michigan State as the only team that won their conference tournament, regular season tournament, to put them a 2 seed against the overall number 1 seed. Makes no sense whatsoever. I can't stand those guys, and if I ever run into them in public, it will be a TMZ video clip.
Brandon Lang joining us here, BrandonLang.com, our handicapper and pal. And how do you feel about Maryland? I mean, you have any feelings about Maryland at all?
I think they're one and done. I really do like Belmont over Temple, and I think Belmont beats Maryland. I like their big man, but their guards, their young
Dude, it's
guards.
one thing for Turgeon's career to lose in the tournament to somebody relevant, but to lose to Belmont, right? It doesn't sound good.
No, and I will say this though: Belmont's big man, who's a very good player, missed the conference championship game against Murray State, and that was a huge loss. He will be in the lineup. I do like them over Temple. Vegas believes that as well, making Belmont a 3.5-point favorite in that game against Temple. And then, of course, Maryland's going to play them. Unfortunately, in your neck of the woods, I think Maryland's a one and done because of the inexperience of their guards.
My man, have a great weekend. Don't get too much wing sauce, pizza, beer, sushi out there, because I know what a sushi guy you are out there on the West Coast, but I hope you enjoy all the basketball. It is wall-to-wall, right, all weekend long. You love basketball. This is the week for you. Brandon Lang and BrandonLang.com. Always good to see you, bud.
Got it. Thanks, babe.
2 for the Money is the movie, and you can find him out at BrandonLang.com. Gambling and wagering and handicapping and basketballing and footballing and all that good stuff. We got baseball out in the buy at Toyota.com Audio Vault, as well as plenty of commentary on Earl Thomas and on Mark Ingram and New Ravens and where we are. The owners' meetings this week in Phoenix, Arizona. I'll be out there for that. I'll be monitoring all things Terps and doing plenty of radio and social media. You'll want to follow along. Nasty at WNST.net finds me. I'm in the buy at Toyota.com Audio Vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device by downloading the TuneIn Radio app. We do come in crystal clear from anywhere in the world. I am Nestor. We are WNST.net, AM 1570 and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.